season without a new DIY accessory. Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. I am so glad you're here and tuning in for today's video. Fall is right around the corner, like I can feel it in the air. We've had some beautiful, crisp, cool days and I am slowly starting to see all of the trees change color and I am so excited. Fall is by far my favorite season, especially since moving to Wisconsin. I have always loved fall my entire life. I love the colors. I love just how you can walk outside one morning and you can smell that it is autumn because fall is on the air. And since it is now September when I am sitting down to film this video, I am just getting so excited for all of my fall outfits, all of the cozy sweaters and layering, and obviously with the new season it means you need a brand new accessory to go with all of your outfits. Which is why I'm so excited about today's video because I'm going to be sitting down and sewing up my brand new fall bag. Now, you all know that I love to sew my own clothes, and one of my kind of inspiration and goals for actually sewing my clothes is to be able to create my dream wardrobe on a budget, and that's what I want to inspire all of you to do when you watch my videos and tune in, and hopefully you get inspiration and get ideas for how you can bring your own dream wardrobe to life, either by curating it through thrifting or by creating it through sewing. And in today's video, I'm going to be creating and sewing the perfect fall bag with the brand Finger Art. Now, I'm very excited to be partnering and working with Finger Art. They are a company that specializes in DIY leather kits. They take out all of the guesswork that comes with trying to figure out a pattern for a leather bag and the skills needed to create it. And they provide you with a kit that has all of the leather pieces already cut, in addition to providing you with all of the supplies you need to hand sew your own leather bag. So not only can you now sew your dream wardrobe, but you can also sew your dream bag, which is what I love. After looking through all of the different bag designs and options on their website, I decided to settle on the garden tote in the larger size. And I thought that this garden bag in the larger size was the perfect bag that is both stylish and has a lot of function. Not to mention that after doing a little bit of research on the specific bag style that I selected, I realized that it's actually based on the HERMES garden party bag that retails for $3,500. So if you're looking for a sign to start sewing your own bags, this is it. One of the struggles when getting into leatherworking and making your own bags is learning a new skill and figuring out where you even start in regards to sourcing leather, finding a pattern, cutting out all of your pieces, and figuring out exactly what tools you need. Not to mention that sourcing and finding all the supplies you need to create your own bag usually means you end up spending more money than you want to on a DIY project. And thanks to Finger Art, they make this process very accessible for anyone who's wanting to sew their own bag. The great thing about Finger Art leather kits is that they provide everything you need. So in my kit, I have all of my pre-cut leather pieces for my purse with holes already punched, so all I have to do is use the needles and thread that are provided to sew my bag together according to the instructions. Another great thing about this bag kit is that it also comes with a step-by-step tutorial. So for someone who's a visual learner like me, watching a video showing me all the steps I need to complete in order to sew my bag is super helpful. It makes me feel a lot more confident about what I'm trying to create and allows me to get to that finished product without all of the headache and frustration of figuring out what I'm even supposed to do. In addition to all of the leather pieces for my bag, I'm also provided with all of the tools I need, including clips, matching thread, leather needles, and scissors. So now that I have my kit and all the supplies I need, it's time to start sewing. Alright, I just got all of my supplies out of the kit and laid it out to see what I am working with. There's definitely a lot of pieces, but I do feel that this garden bag is fairly simple. There's not like insane construction. I also love that this bag has a lining that has a zipper and the lining comes already sewn, so I don't have to sew that part. I'm literally just sewing the outside bag, and then same thing, the strap is already sewn with the hardware, which is so nice. So I have my thread that is matching, which I am super excited about, and all of my pieces that I'm going to be sewing. I love that these come with like all the holes already punched. So essentially what I'm doing is just taking my needles and threading them through all of the holes to create the actual stitching. And there is a very specific stitch that is required when sewing leather bags. I I have sewed a leather bag in the past, and it was such an interesting experience learning that new sewing skill. I am not the biggest hand sewing fan, but when it comes to sewing a leather purse, you kind of have to sew it by hand. So it was really nice to kind of step back and slow down and take to hand sewing again and really understand the meticulous and slow nature of actually crafting your own purse. I also really love the color that I selected. I wanted to choose a color that was different from purses that I already have. I already have a number of brown purses and fun colors, and since I am making this like as my fall bag, I wanted to stick with kind of this same concept of fall colors, but not have something that was like black and kind of just lacked a little bit of character, because I'm all about character in my fashion. And so I chose this beautiful light taupe color. So it's going to be a really beautiful kind of neutral, natural color bag for fall, and then I can use it in all other seasons. So I was really excited to see what this color actually looks like in real life, and it's such a different color from all of the rest of my purses, so I'm really excited to see how this bag comes together. Alright, I have sewn one of the bottom sections on. I just need to do this second one. I feel like this probably took 20 or 30 minutes, but that's part of the slow construction of making bags that I honestly really do appreciate. Alright, I think I'm gonna call it a day for working on this purse. This is what I got accomplished today. I sewed these two pieces to the bottom of the bag, and then I also sewed these little D-ring hooks to both sides for like the across the shoulder strap, and then I also stitched this bottom strap to the side of the bag. I did that for both sides. So we're gonna set that aside, and then we'll come back tomorrow and pick this up. I will say this second time sewing a bag, I feel like it's going a little bit more quickly because I have a good hang of the hand stitching that is required. So it's kind of been nice to just sit back and relax and hand sew and like the quietness of it. And here we are on day 3 sewing my fall bag. On this specific day, I was working on the sides of the bag and working on attaching the front and the back together to really bring this bag to life. Something that I really loved about this specific bag kit from Finger Art Leather is that the lining for my purse was already pre-sewn on arrival, so that saved me so much time where I wasn't having to hand stitch or machine stitch the lining for my purse. All I had to do was place it inside of my bag and then attach it by sewing around the top. One of the last steps of creating my bag was installing all of the snaps. There were 6 snaps in total, and thankfully I was provided with all of the tools I needed to not only punch holes in my leather, but also insert the snaps along the sides and the front. Alright, I just finished sewing and putting the finishing touches on my garden bag in the large size from Finger Art Leather, and I am so excited with how it turned out. Looking at it, you would not be able to tell that this is homemade and hand stitched, and that's truly because of the craftsmanship of actually slowing down and creating something with your hands and putting the time and effort into making it high quality. I love the snaps on the side, which kind of change the overall shape of the purse depending on like what you want to fit in it. I feel like the snaps kind of give it a more like casual look unsnapped, and then a more like formal look snapped. And then I especially love the really beautiful inside finishing. You have a pocket right here, and then you have a zipper on this side. So now that the bag is officially done, it's time to show you how this bag looks, all styled with an outfit for fall. Well friends, that's a wrap on sewing my new bag for fall. I hope that you enjoyed watching this creative process, and don't forget to check out Finger Art Leather if you're wanting to get into leatherworking or sew your very own bag for the new season. It's always a joy to share my projects and creativity with all of you, so make sure you hit that subscribe button and drop a comment down below and let me know your thoughts on this brand new project. Happy creating! I'll see you in the next video.